Alright, boys, so today using VALBY, we're gonna be touching the enemies. What the fuck? Alright, boys, so with VALBY today, we're gonna be entering the enemy. What the fuck? Boys, today we're gonna be using VALBY to get the enemies wet. Fuck! Yo, what's going on, guys? JB Drag coming here with a brand new video, and today we have a tips and tricks guide on how to get the new evolving skin VALBY leveled up to tier 3 or evolution 3. So if you guys go ahead and look over here, evolution stage 3, you'll see I have a really big number on there, 19,965 out of 20,000. I will be getting it done in this video, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did it. I have been doing this for about 2 days, and I've flown through it. I mean, I get it if you don't want to put in as much time, but you can still do this little by little and still make a good amount of progress without having to suffer and only make a little bit at a time. So for those of you who don't know what the evolving skins are, is they are these cool skins you can buy in the store. I feel like it's more of a flex, and it's kind of just like, hey, I bought a skin and I still grinded and played the game and got, you know, the evolution. I think it's cool. I've collected the bunny one. I have the Ajax one as well. So the preseason was bunny, season 1 was Ajax, and they all had different challenges. This season is VALBY. So here is the difference. You can't really see it on the front, so I'm going to do it on the side. So here's the stage 1. Here's stage 2, where you can kind of see she gets a little bit of armor, some extra stuff added to her suit as well. And then stage 3, you can see she gets a lot more. It's definitely a noticeable difference. I really think that this is the worst evolution skin. I kind of hope that they remake it a little bit, add just a little bit more. It's really not the best. It's pretty mid. I just bought it because I've already collected the last 2, and I told myself I wanted to collect all of these because I do think they are really cool to have. But yeah, that is what the skin is. And then for the helmet as well, the helmet looks a little bit better, but like I said, it really doesn't add too much of a difference. There's definitely some better skins that VALBY has, but it is just cooler. I'm really hoping to get some more love, hoping they rework it, but who knows. But yes, 20,000 pass through the enemies with the cleanup skill. So this is a lot. The first stage for going from stage 1 to 2 is 10,000, which is a lot. Stage 2 to 3 is 20,000. So in total, you're going to be having to use this skill a lot, and it's going to be 30,000 enemies with the cleanup skill. It's not counting killing them, so that is where the build comes into play here. So we're going to go ahead and go over to the build, and I'm going to explain exactly why I'm using everything that I'm using. So over here, I have my Evo build. So originally, I thought that with the cleanup skill, I was going to use supply moisture, just use my 400% build. It's not work as good. And the reason why, because the cleanup skill says that you get this liquefied state, you get to go through enemies, blah, blah, blah. It leaves that water trail behind. When it leaves that water trail behind, the enemies will sit on it and they will constantly die before you can touch them. Your character, VALBY, has to literally go through each and every enemy and touch them while in this skill form in order for it to count. I have tried everything you could probably think of to see what would make this go quicker. I've done the special missions where you can get like at least 3,000 kills. No, this is a lot of very specific details that go into this. I don't know why, but it is. So with the cleanup skill, leaving the water trail behind, it kind of sucks because if your build is meant for like 400% dungeons, you're going to kill stuff a lot easier and you're not going to be able to touch them as much. So I was noticing when I use this build for my 400%, I would go through and I'd only get like 200 to 300, which that's not a lot. There's almost 1,000 enemies in each 400% dungeon. I should be getting way over 300. I wasn't. So what I'm going to show you is a really cool trick. So Tidal Wave also will change the name of the cleanup skill, which originally I thought that doesn't make sense on why it would work because it's changing the skill to cleanup, or from cleanup to Tidal Wave. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it actually does work. I don't know if they're going to fix it or not, so maybe use it while it's here. But Tidal Wave does not leave any watery trails while moving, so that water trail won't sit there and constantly do damage to the enemies. That is really good. Now you go into a 400% dungeon and you just spam this ability over and over again, going in and out of the enemies, and you will rack up a ton of points. I'm getting over at least 800 to 900 every run, and it's about 10 minutes a run. Like, it does take a little bit of time. It is supposed to be a grindy skin, but it does work. So all of the mods I'm using are mainly, it's going to be to want to do damage, to not be overwhelmed by the enemies, but also we don't want to do enough damage to where we're one-shotting every single thing. I'm not actually finishing any of the 400%. I'm leaving as soon as I finish the last room before you get to the boss room. Once you clear out like all the big rooms filled with like hundreds of enemies, that's when you just leave and you just reset. So we got to increase HP to maximize our HP and survival. HP collector, because you're going to be getting hit a lot. You will get stunned a lot out of your ability by enemies. It kind of sucks. Sometimes you just straight up die without even trying. Like, they will just abuse you, especially when they stun lock you. So HP collector is really good whenever you're constantly going in and out of the enemies. Nimble fingers to make the skill cooldown, so you're always getting that 3 back. You have 2 of them, so you'll pretty much always have it unless you get knocked a lot out of your skill. Skill duration, or we have skill extension, which extends the duration. Emergency measures, the skill critical hit rate and damage, just so we can do a little bit of damage and not just constantly be getting overwhelmed and not actually moving through the enemies, but we still want them to die, just so we're constantly respawning more enemies and getting through the dungeon a little bit more. MP accelerant, so the skill duration, once again, max MP. Focus on non-attributes, just some more power to our skills, plus it gives us a little bit of a cooldown. The skill critical hit rate for skill insight 1.15 or 115.4, my fault. And then multi-talented also helps really well with the skill cooldown, and it is for dimension, and tidal wave is a dimension skill. So that is everything I run, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did in the 400% dungeons. But what sucks is when you're going through these, you're not going to be doing a stupid amount of damage, but what we're really trying to do is just constantly make the enemies wet. That sounds really bad, but we're constantly trying to make the enemies wet. When you go through the enemies, they're going to have like water dripping off of them. That's how you know that you have gone through correctly and your skill has you've gotten points towards the skin. If they're not wet or they're not dripping with water, that means that you can go through them and it'll count again. I have noticed that it does recount a few times, but if they're already wet, it won't count. So you can go in and out as much as you want, but you really just want to keep going in and out of all the enemies and trying to get as much as you can. Like I said, when I get to the end of the room before the boss, that's when I just go ahead and quit and restart. So we're going to go ahead and hop into one of these, and then I will show you guys exactly what I did, and we'll hopefully unlock the skin really quick. So we'll go ahead and hop into one now. Okay, so we are in the dungeon. We have loaded into the 400% dungeon. I just kind of skipped over to getting in here, but we're going to go ahead and get this now. So I'm going to show you exactly how I use this skill. Obviously, you just kind of press it, and then you're going to want to just go through as many enemies as possible. Try to get them in lines. I mean, they do group up a lot, especially in the 400%. They are just constantly in big-ass groups. You can go through. As soon as that skill's over, pop the next one, and then you're going to be constantly going in and out of these enemies, trying to hit as many as you can, and then eventually it will just give us the evolution. Hopefully. We should see it here any second now, but we're going to keep doing this until we get it. I only needed about 35, so should be in this room, I believe. And I'm sitting at 60 now, so I don't know why it's not working. Maybe it has already worked. Oh, there it is. There it is. So we are done. That is all you do, and then you just hit a return to Albion, go back, do the 400%. Obviously, I didn't go through the whole dungeon, but you get the gist. That is pretty much all I've been doing. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, I've done the special missions. I've done pretty much every mission I could think of that has a ton of enemies. This is the best way just because they're so tight together, and you can keep going in and out of them, and they're still about 1,000 each 400%. So we are go ahead and put on my new skin here, and we are done until next season. Boom. Go ahead and evolve that, and boom. Valby is looking amazing with this new skin. I really like the way that my wife put these colors together. She always helps me customize all these because she's an artist and I'm not. So I really like the way that this came out. It looks really good. Colors all matching. And yeah, that is it. Other than that, I really hope you guys have a great night, morning, evening, wherever the fuck you're at. I hope you got some cool tips and tricks. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace the fuck out. Have a great day.